Hello everyone, welcome back to Help for Code eLearning. My name is Prashanja and I'm your educator. So right now we have to develop this project. This project name is basically your MCQs project. ID is VS Code and programming is basically we are going to use the Python coding, okay, with Python programming. So around total four modules we have to work: personal information, add questions, start exam, display results. On this four models we have to work, okay. And see, there are a lot of things that we can do on the MCQs. Understand these things very clearly. Okay, there are a lot of things that we can do in this MCQs project. But what I thought exactly that my thinking is that I should make it in a very in a different modules. That means how many ways to create this project using a Python programming, definitely on the core level. How many ways to develop this? Okay, like from small level to intermediate level and intermediate level to your advanced level. So how many versions we can create? Huh? How many versions we can make for this project? So we have to decide that. So right now I'm just taking a very simple and beginner level version for beginner level coders, or those who have right now started a Python coding, those have who have right now finished the Python programming. For them I'm making this project. Okay, so understand it. I am using right now the object oriented concept, and using the object oriented concepts we have to develop this. Okay, class and object concept we have to use, and by using that we are going to develop this. So along with this, what I'm going to include here, especially if I mention the name, understand we are going to use the class, then we are going to use class, then we are going to use the method. Okay, then member variables and objects. Okay, so object, we can say that. So basically these four things we are going to use in our project. Okay, this is also important. So let's go, and I'll tell you one thing, that already I have developed these projects, but don't worry, I'm not going to only you will say that sir, you're going to use this the same code and you're going to do the copy and paste. See, I'm not going to use everything. I'm not going to do the copy and paste, but yeah, I'll tell you how I have developed and how you guys have to develop it. Okay, so don't worry, because I know that nobody want to spend a lot of time, longer time for watching a video. So that's why I want to reduce the time. I want to optimize this time, and that's why I've already developed this project. Maybe this project will help you to understand the code. Okay, because see, already you know the coding part. If you know the coding part, then you can understand this project. If you don't know the coding part, you're just a beginner. That means you have done 2 3 lectures, 4 5 lectures, you haven't done the object oriented concept, then you could not able to understand what I'm saying here, what I'm explaining here. So it's my suggestion, if you have done your object oriented programming, then kindly watch this recording. Otherwise, what you can do exactly, first of all, complete your control statement part, function part, and then especially your object oriented. In object oriented, especially your class and object and method data members and member functions. This part you should know it. Okay, and also the constructor, you know that we are using the constructor also. Okay, so the default constructor, you should know it. Okay, so after that, you if you watch this project, definitely you will learn it, or you will understand it what I'm doing here. So I want to save your time, guys. Okay, so I'll create a different file. I'll tell you how we can develop this. Okay, so a new file I will take, save. So I'll just make a MCQ project for we can say that for YouTube learners.py. Okay, fine. Yeah. So what I'll do exactly, guys, here, I'll do a step-by-step process. I'm not going to write everything and every code from the scratch, because you know that then it will take around 1 and 2 hour. At least 1 and 2 hour I have to spend. Then you can make this project. And I know that nobody want to spend a longer time on this project making. They want to understand everything very quickly, very fast. So that's why I'll tell you, I'll explain this project very quickly, very fast, but understandable format. Okay. So still, if you have any query, and whatever the query, whatever the suppose you have a questions, you can put on the comment box. Definitely, I'll try to reply you over there. Okay. But do it from your scratch, write it down by line by line. Okay. I'm not going to provide this file. Why? Because if you write from your scratch, you can understand it. And there are a lot of things that you can add from your end also. And that is what I'm expecting from your side, from my learners. Okay, so let's take up. First of all, I'm gonna create this class. This is really clear. This class name is a question. You can see here. Okay, this class name is a question. If I zoom it, okay, this fine. So this class name is a question, guys. I'll show you. And then inside of this class, I'm going to create the constructor. Okay, and what is the purpose of this constructor? I'll explain. What is the purpose of this constructor? So inside of this constructor, as you know that guys, constructor calls automatically. Whenever you create the object, this constructor will get called automatically, and it will create the memory. It will initialize that memory to your object, and that memory will also assign, that memory will also have for this all the list type of objects, variables, and the other variables also. So let's see what type of variables we have. We have a question, and I have taken the question as a list. Why? Because I have to add the multiple questions. And when we are talking about that, we have to add the multiple question. Definitely, we have to go for the either array or a list. In Python, we generally use the list because list is a collection of heterogeneous data element as well as order data you can store here, order-wise data, because here I want to store the order-wise data also. So as per my requirement, because I want to store the order-wise data, heterogeneous data, and I want the indexing also. So and the duplicate data also I want here, so that's why I have taken the question as a list. Then there are 4 different lists also I have created for options, because along with this question also, you guys know that I have to add the options also. Okay, along with this question I have to add the options also, and here you can see the options like option 1, option 2, option 3, and option 4. As you know that, understand it very clearly. If I'm going to add the multiple question, definitely along with the multiple question, I have to add the multiple options also, right? And along with the multiple options, I have to add the multiple correct answer also. That means we are talking about the lot of data. We are talking about the more than one data. We can say that more than one values, and more than one values. When you have to store the more than one values, we generally go for the collection data structure. And from this collection data structure, I'm using this list. Why? Because my requirement is not fixed. My requirement is not fixed. My requirement is like a variable. It's gonna change in the future also. And you know that when your requirement is not fixed, you have to choose the list. Otherwise, if your requirement is fixed, you can choose the tuple also. So right now I'm not teaching a Python boss. I'm just recalling your concept, because when you recall your concept, you can understand the concept very clearly and you can implement it very well. So as you know that I have taken the list as a question as a list, all these 4 options as a list, and correct answer is also list. In correct answer, I'm gonna add the correct answer also, because at the end when the exam that my student, or my, we can say the exam, those who are giving an exam, they when they put the answer, so that answer should match with the correct answer, and that's why I have taken this. So I'm gonna add the multiple questions, multiple options, and multiple correct answers. So I have taken this list. After that, the count right answers, count wrong answers, I have taken as an integer. I've just assigned the default value is 0. Okay, because at then we have to count that how many right answers the user has got. That means how many right answers user has marked, wrong answer has marked, and the also the per question what is your score. So I've just right now decided a constant value for the score per question is a 5. Then the total score is also like I have decided the integer, because you know that at the end I'm gonna add the integer value here. Then full name I've taken as a none, and student ID is also none. Okay, so this is what I have done, guys. What I have done here. Right now I've used this object, this question, and as you know that when I'm going to create the object, like obj equal to question, so this object is going to create here, right? An object created. So when I create the object, this object, so this constructor will get called automatically. And here inside of this constructor, all these variables and list will get a memory. And also this memory area will be initialized by the constructor to object. Okay. Now let's talk about function. The next function we have to use personal info we have to make. And already I have created personal info. If you check this function, okay, I'll just do copy and paste, but you can understand it. What you can do right now, guys, you can just pause this recording and you can write down this code. Very simple, step by step, do your code. See, this hard work, you have to do it. And also, once you created a one thing, just do the copy paste and change the name, do it fast way. Okay, but this is what you have to follow if you are really looking to make this project. Okay, so inside of this my question class, I have to add a, or I have to create a one member function, and my member function name is personal info. You can see here my member function name is personal info. Just make sure that your indentation should be correct. Okay, so just a minute. Yeah. So here the personal info method, I'm just taking a full name as a my variable name. You can see here that I have taken already this data member. So full name, I'm accepting a full name from user. I'm asking that enter your full name. Then student ID is also enter your student ID from the user end. Okay, I'm accepting this, and this is good. The personal info is done. And what other I have to do? So this is what I'm gonna add the information. Okay, this is full name and student ID. I'm not using a list for full name and student ID right now because only one person can give me can give this exam right now. If suppose if I allow a multiple user to give this start the exam at a time and give this exam at a time, okay, so definitely I have to use the list because that time you have to add the multiple students, and definitely along with the student name, their details, their student ID, roll number, mobile number, email ID, whatever if I want. Okay, I have to take the list. Then another method which I have to create, which is your add a question. This is really good. Add a question, guys. So add a question. Yeah, this is my add a question method. This is cool. So here I'm gonna add the question, guys, and right now you can pause. You can pause this lecture and you can write down this code. Understand my what I'm saying. You can pause this lecture and you can write this code. But first of all, understand what I'm doing here. Add a question method. Here, enter a number of questions that you want to add. Number of questions means I'm talking about the number of records because I have to decide how many questions at the same time you're going to add. Means one question, two question, three question, five question. Like if suppose you have thought that you have some tutorials, and while completing that tutorial you want that your end user should also give us some quizzes, some quiz, and you can check that quiz. Maybe you have a 5 question in that quiz, maybe you have a 10 question, more than like max you have a 10 questions. What I have seen while reading, while doing the while completing the tutorial, suppose I'm completing any tutorial, I'm learning a Python, I'm learning a data structure, and meanwhile after completing a one tutorial, that means one chapter you can say that, or one particular like video lecture, I'll get a quiz, and that quiz I have to submit, and then we can switch on the next tutorial. That means on the next section I can switch. So this is how can I do it. This is how can I make it uh, simple. So here I'm asking, first of all, enter the number of questions that you want to add. Suppose I have given a 2. So here in the total question, you will get a 2. Now this total question I am using in the range function inside of my loop, for loop, because here the range is given already that user want to add the 2 question. So here I'm adding a 2 question. Uh, okay, the total question, and this I am taking this variable. Okay, that's fine. And as you know that I'm not using this I. Okay, I can use different thing also in that place. But here, you know that in total question variable, if you have a 2, that means this loop will iterate 2 times. This loop will repeat 2 times. So first time when this loop will repeat, okay, suppose when you have given a total question as a 2, so I will start from a 0. So at first iteration, it will take your questions, enter your question. Along with that, it will take your 4 options. And as you know that we have already taken a list for the question, we have already taken the list for the all these 4 options, and also I have taken a list for correct answer. So here along with my question, I'm taking a 4 options as well as my correct answer, and whatever I'm taking a input, I'm taking an input inside a append function, because you know that whatever you are looking to add on your list, in your list, we can say that you can add by using the append function. We are not looking to insert in a particular position. Otherwise, we can go for the insert method also. But what we are doing exactly, we are using append method because we have to add the things like a stack. We do the push operation one by one, one by one. As you know that always the push operation performed from the top end, and all the questions, all the elements which you add in the stack, that is going to add like a 0 1 2 3, in this way. Similarly, I'm adding this question. Okay, so first question whichever I'm going to add, okay, understand, that is going to add, if you talk about where it is going to add, so you have a question list, and understand, in the question at index number 0, you are going to add the question. Similarly, option, at the option index 0, similar, you're going to add a first option, that means in option 1. Okay, and let's talk about like you're going to, in option 2 you're going to add the index number 0. In option 3 you're going to add in the 0 in option 4. So we are talking about the index number 0 because right now this loop is having the 0. So we can say that, because as you know that guys, in list indexing is always start from the index number 0. You know that, understand very clearly what I'm saying. Your indexing start from the index number 0. So whatever you're going to add, your first question, your first option, first four options, and obviously your first correct answer, that all the things going to be add at index number 0. Why I'm talking about this? Because this logic we're gonna use in the next method. When you start exam, that time we have to use it, this logic. So understand, the first question which you're going to add, that is going to be add on the index number 0. The first option which is going to be add on the index number 0, option 2 is also added on the index number 0, option 3 is also added on the index number 0, option 4 is also added on the index number 0, and similarly your correct answer is also added on the index number 0. In the next iteration, obviously the value of I will be 1. Okay, and again you are going to add a one question, and that question going to be add at index number 1. Similarly, that option is going to be added on the index number 1. Similarly, option 2, option 3, option 4, and also your correct answer on the index number 1. Oh, sorry, I made the mistake. Yeah, so you can understand, index wise you are adding everything. Okay, because at a time you are adding only one question, one option, two option, three option, four option. That means one options you are adding in every options. Then correct answer only one. So indexing wise it is going to be add. So this is your add question, guys. I hope you understand. Now the next method is, after the add question you have a start exam. So let's take the start exam, which is really important. Really important, I'll tell you. Okay, so let's do the copy and do here paste. Good. You can pause this recording, guys. You can pause this recording and you can copy from here. Okay, you copy in the sense, you can type this code, or maybe you can take the screenshot, you can convert that screenshot in the code also. Right now is, you know that guys, technology is very in a very advanced level, so there are a lot of things that you can use it, and a lot of things that you can do it. I have seen my students, there are many students those who take the screenshots and they convert the screenshots into the code. They are very much smart in that area. Okay, but what I suggest, start writing by yourself, because that time you learn the coding. Because what we are learning here, we are learning that how to implement the concept as well as logic building also, like how can you implement the logic here also, conceptual logic. Okay, so start exam method is there. Again, what I'm using, total question variable I'm using here. Why? Because see, the how many question you have added here, two question. Okay, and that two you have already taken in the total question variable, you can see here. Okay, so I want that the number of question you have added on the basis of this total question variable, similarly the number of questions we should display to our user, to our end user, that should be dependent on the total question, because that time logically it is correct. Only it will display all those questions which is added by the add question method. So again here, as you know that I will have the by default 0. And when I is having a 0, understand this is a very important part, because this method is having the logic. Except this method, there is a other method also, but you know that that method is not having a lot of logics. But yeah, this method is having a logic, and this is what we have to understand. Okay, this is really very important, I'll tell you. So for I in range self dot total question, I is having right now 0. So when we talk about the self dot question, I means 0. Understand, the value of I is a 0. So question of I means a question of 0. And when we talk about this question of 0, understand guys what I'm talking about. Question of 0 means at index number 0 of question, at index number of 0 of option 1, at index number 0 of option 2, at index number 0 of option 3, at index number 0 of option 4, at index number 0 of correct answer. Whatever the questions and options and correct answers you have added, all is going to be displayed here, because you can see here everywhere I'm using option or underscore one. See here, whatever the options I have append or added here in options and correct answers and questions. So for all those, I have just taken the I equal to 0, and I is here. So question of I, option 1 of I, option 2 of I, option 3 of I, and option 4 of I. Okay, I'm using here. So understand it very clearly that at index number 0, because right now the value of I is 0. So at index number 0 of question, at index number 0 of option 1, at index number 0 of option 2, at index number 0 of option 3, and at index number 0 of option 4, whatever the options and questions and correct answer you have added, that all are going to display in the first iteration. The first question along with the 4 option and correct answer is going to display here in the first iteration. Okay, in the next iteration, when the next iteration will go and when the next iteration will happen, so definitely I will be incremented by 1, and it will check that in total question you have a 2. So 1 is less than 2, condition is true, it will come inside. Okay, because you know that guys, if you know the control statement, looping statement, if else statement very well, then you can understand this code very well. Okay, because here I'm not teaching you how to make the logic. Here I'm teaching you how to implement the logic. Okay, understand it. Making a logic, learning a logic building is different. Implementing a logic is little bit different. Not I'll say very much different, but yeah, little bit different. Okay, because here you have to use the conceptual part and you are working with the real things, so you have to think in all the direction, in 360 degree direction. Okay, so all this in the next iteration the value of I is 1. Again the question of 1, option 1 of 1, option 2 of 1, option 3 of 1, option 4 of 1. As you know that whatever you have added in the next index number 1 of questions, options, all the options and correct answers, that is going to display on the next iteration. Okay, the 2 iteration will happen if you have added a 2 question. So here I'm taking a user, I'm just asking enter any one option, either 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. So user are not going to enter an integer value guys, user has to enter a string value. You can see here I am accepting an input function, that means user has to enter a string value that I'll show you when we are going to run this code. Right now it is a suspense. When I'm going to run this code, how it looks like, that you can understand very well. Okay, so whatever you're going to enter the option, that is going to store in the ch. And as you know that guys, let's talk about the first iteration, like when the value of I is 0. So you know that index number 0, all the question and options will display here. Similarly here, you are taking a input from user in the ch, and you're comparing that ch variable with the correct answer of I. And the correct answer of I means we are talking about the correct answer of 0. So at index number 0, similarly, because right now I is equal to 0, so at question number of index 0, you have added a, you know that you have added a one question. At index number 0, you have added a first option. At index number 0, you have in different list. Definitely all are, we are having a different list. You can see here that we all, for questions and options and correct answers, we have a different list. But in the first iteration at index number 0 of every list, in all the list you are adding a questions, options and correct answer. So similarly here, whatever the answer you are going to put here, that is going to compare with the correct answer of I. That means index number 0, whatever the correct answer you have added at the time of adding a question, you have added a correct answer also, and that you can check here. So if both answer going to match. If both answer matched here, so it will come inside, it will count your right answers every time one. So I'm using right now a plus equal to one, so it is going to count your right answer. And you know that for the right answer, yeah, so you have taken a 0, so it is going to increment by 1. And total score, so you have taken the total score as a 0. And here you know that in total score you are adding the score per question, and the score per question you have a 5. That means if you have added, or if you have your two questions and both of the question you have answered it correctly, so it will added like that 5 plus 5 10. Okay. And suppose if the answer is not matched here, if the answer did not match here, then it will come to the else block, and it will show you the count wrong answer. So this is the entire logic, guys. You can pause and you can do it. The last method, you can see here, the last method is a display result, and I'm just going to use the display result. Okay. So display result is a very simple method. Nothing is hard. Okay. Yeah, so in display result, you can see here I have done some decoration. Then student ID, full name, total score, count right question answers, count wrong answers. I'm just displaying here. Okay, I'm just displaying here. So that's why I've taken this method as a last method. So you can pause this recording and you can count, you can write it down, guys. Okay, you can write it down. So this is what. Now, the question is that how it is going to be happen. So first of all, I'll show you this code, this output. Don't worry. When I run, first of all, I'll show you this, and then we will do the modification of, I'll show you, and I'll show you the modification also, that because right now I'm running this MCQs project which I have already created. And this project right now we are creating. Okay, so right now I'm not running this. Right now I'm running this MCQs project. So you know that when I run this code, all these four options we get in a first level. Okay, and these options right now we haven't designed here, so don't worry about it. We will design this. Okay, that's not a very much difficult. So add a question, add a student info. I'll give a first choice. Add a student info. It is asking a full name, so I will enter like a Prashant Jha. Then student ID is 101. So see, the first method work is done because we are just accepting a two details. When it is done, again we got the same menu. Again we got the same menu in front of us. Okay. So this time I'm going to add the question. So I'm choosing the second option. Okay. Entering the choice 2. It is going to enter the number of question you want to add. So number of question like 2. Okay. Then enter the question. So like I'm adding like what is Python? Just dummy information I'm adding. What is Python? My question. The first option is like I'm giving the option like coding is my first option, programming is my second option, then script is my third option, then web application is my fourth option. Now it is asking the correct answer. So you can see here along with your first question, you're adding the first four options and the first correct answer at index number 0. Okay, you can imagine because at the time of writing a code, or you have to imagine the things. So enter the correct answer. My correct answer is programming. My correct answer is a programming, boss. Okay, fine. Now the next question, because we have chosen like number of question we have to add it, that is a 2. So the second is like what is generator? Okay, what is a generator? So I have to add, I'll say a spatial function. I'll say a keyword, second option, reserved word, third option, identifier, okay, identifier, fourth option, and the correct is basically I can say a spatial function. Kindly check your was I'll say spatial yeah, these options. When I enter it, now you can see I got I got, guys, what I got exactly. Okay, So correct answer also I'm adding here. This question is done. Now we have to start the exam. So this first two option is done. I have added the personal info. I have added the question. Now we are ready to move for the exam, guys. And this for starting an exam, we have to use the third option. So when I enter the third option, understand how it is going to display the things. Third option, when I enter it, so the first question is displaying here. You can see what is a Python, and along with the four option you can see here. Okay, option 1 coding, option 2 programming, option 3 script, option 4 is a web application, and I have to enter the correct answer here for the what is a Python. So I will say programming. Programming, I would like to enter here this programming, and kindly check. See, right now we cannot choose the option 1, option 2, option 3, option 4, like 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not able to use it. We are not using HTML, CSS. And also I'm not using any Tkinter library, any user interface, any GUI based thing. Okay. So I'm just right now entering, as I already mentioned, that I'm making this project right now for the beginner level candidates so they can understand. So I'm just entering a programming and understand. If you are entering a correct answer, to verify that it is matching or not, please check here the correct option, then enter the correct answer. The spelling should be correct. Okay, please check that. Now enter it. Your second question is just occurred here. And the second question is like, what is a generator? Here I made the some mistake. Okay, that's not an issue. What is a generator? And what is a generator? Again, the four option is there. And this time I'm gonna make a wrong answer. Okay, I will enter a keyword, which is my wrong answer. I know that. When I enter, again I got, because two question I have added. And similarly, when I start the exam, only two question was occurred. Only two question has displayed to us. Okay, so that's why I have taken the variable over there, right? Display the result, which is my last option, 4. Okay, so when I enter, you can see here, guys, I got the result. The student ID is 101. Student full name is Prashanja. My total score is 5. The correct answer is 1 and the wrong answer is 1. I think along with this, I should show the total question also. Total question like 2, 3, whatever the question. So there are so many things that we can add here, guys. So many things. Still, this loop is going on. I have not added a fifth option, that is the exit. But don't worry, right now we are going to add that part. Okay. But have you understood how I make the things, how I make these MCQs? This is not HTML. I'm not using right now the HTML, CSS, as well as the desktop based GUI libraries. I'm not using in the Python. Otherwise, I can make it a look and feel also. But right now we are using this command, this terminal, or also you can use the command prompt. Over there, you know that, some pixels and some, due to that, it's gonna show you in a zigzag manner. But I try my best. And also I can try and I can fix it. Okay, but logically what we can done, that we have to see. Okay, so I think this underscore, this arrow should be displayed after this input. After this input, yes, right. Not an issue, we can do that. Okay, so this is the output scenario, guys. Now, how can you make this? I'm just going to share the screen. Just a wait. Okay, so this is what I have done in the while loop. I'm just going to copy this, and outside of class, just going to use this. So while true, right now we are using a while true. Okay. And here, this 4 option, I am going to display as a constant in the print function. Then we are accepting a choice, enter your choice, and that is going to store in the ch. And if you have entered the choice 1, if it is going to match a choice 1, so this, by using this object, the object of class you have created, by using this object, I'm calling the member function of my class, and that is my first, because if I have to add the student info, this is my first option. So definitely here I have to call the first method, personal info. And you know that this method is situated here inside a class. It is going to call. After this call is end, your interpreter back to return back to your same place. And as you know that all these 4 options will get, all these 4 options will not match. So when it comes here, again, it will go for the next iteration. In the next iteration, again, it will show you this option. And that's why after completion of the first method work, we were getting these options again and again. So again, we'll got this option. Suppose this time you choose the option 2, add a question. So in ch, you will get a 2. The first condition will false. and the second condition will be true. So 2 equal to 2. This time you are going to call by using the object, you are calling a add question. And this time your second method add question will get called. And after this method execution done, your interpreter will again return back to the same place here. And then it will check the another second last option and the last option, which is not correct. Again, it will go for the next iteration. In the next iteration, again, you will see. So that's why I'm using a while loop, because the range is not mentioned and we cannot able to understand that how many times end user are going to use it. So in the third option, we are using this. Again, the third time we will get the same option. This time we are accepting the third three as a choice. And this time again, we are matching with the one, two. So first two condition will be fail, but the third case will match. The third condition will match 3 equal to 3. And this time we are calling a start exam. So your start exam method you're calling here. Okay. And after completion of this, you will come back here again. It will match the last option, which is going to be fail. Again, it will in the next iteration, it will show you the again this option. This time if you enter the fourth choice 4, so you know that first three condition will fail, because in the last question you in ch you have a 4. So this 4 will match to the last option. This time you're calling a display result method, and this display result method is here. After the completion, after the execution of this display method, it will come back again here. Now the question is that if you're looking to stop it, how can you stop? So you can use here like print. Fifth option we can give here exit. Okay. And but how it is going to be exit? So before this class writing, we should import our module, which is name is sys. Okay. And I will use this module. So in the fifth option, you know that here in the fifth option, you have given an exit. So again, if I use the ch, if suppose user have entered the 5 in ch variable, so it will match this condition. When it will match this condition, I'm looking to break this loop. So sys dot, I'm going to call the exit function, and this will break your loop and stop the repetition if you want. So you can choose this. Okay. So you can pause this. What you can do, guys, you can see here outside of class. Outside of class, we have created an object, and this while loop also I have created a after the object creation, I have created this while loop, and here I have given this option. You can pause this recording. Okay, you can pause and you can write down this code. I hope you have understand this logic very well. But if you have a good control statement knowledge, good conditional statement knowledge, looping knowledge, then definitely you can understand this code and you can write down. So I hope you guys have understood this lecture very well. And kindly comment me or give me a reply and put your question on the comment box, guys. It is my request to all of you, because if anything else I have to correct it, or there are a lot of things that we can add. I will make the next version, and in the next version I will add a lot of things here. So that's why you have to watch this first version of this beginner level project. So the next level of project, I will take the input from here and I will make the next version. So I'll show you that how company, you can imagine at the small level, you can imagine that how company add the features in their project. Like whenever you do a update of your mobile application, you can see if the previous if any xyz application you're using, if their previous version is like 1.10. So after updation, whatever the update company has given, after the update, when you update your mobile, when you update that application, when you update that particular application, definitely you can see that version is going to also update that time. They update their versions like 1.11. 1.10 was a previous version. So in the current time, they will make it a 1.11. Why? Because they have to do a version controlling. Similarly here, this is your beginner level project. Just suppose that your client has asking right now these small features. Client want to start their business from this small features. You have done it. Next time after 1 month, your client will come and again your client will ask you, let's add some features which I want. So this time you're gonna obviously in the same project you will start working, but you're gonna make a different document. You're going to make this different scenario, and you will maintain the version also. Like if you're using the github, or you're using any bitbucket or any other software for version controlling, for managing your code, for backup and all those matters, So you are going to, along with your document, you are going to maintain the version controlling also. So you're going to add other features also. So similar thing I cannot able to show you here in this scale, but yeah, I can relate those things with this scale so that you will get some imagination point and imagination information, because without information our mind do not imagine anything else. So you can imagine the things and work hard. I will say rigorously, intentionally, passionate, be a passionate about these things, to write the code, understand how can you add something here more, and just let me know in the comment box if you have added something in that code. So add something which you feel it. Okay, so I hope you guys can write the code, because every moment I just stop the screen, I told you that pause this screen, pause this video and write down your code. So thank you guys, thank you very much. We'll see you in the next project. Thank you very much.